Thousands of Sunni anti-government demonstrators are on the streets of Fallujah in Iraq. These are live scenes just after Friday prayers. The protests have been going on now for roughly 10 days. All started after the arrest of the Sunni finance minister's bodyguards and suggestions among many of those discontented that they are being discriminated against by a Shia-led government. Omar Al-Saleh joins us now from Fallujah. The protesters demanded the release of some women prisoners. That was granted within the last 24 hours. Has that gone some way to defusing the tensions, Omar?
No, it hasn't, David, because the number suggested by the government, the release of only 14 prisoners, didn't go really well, because according to the organizers of the protest and majority of the Sunni community, the number of the prisoners range between 40 to 50,000 people, including men and women. Now, the government said this is not accurate. The number of the female prisoners stands at 900 prisoners, both accused of criminal activities and terrorism charges. But the demand, this is, I have to put it into context, this is, the crisis has been going on for years, because since the U.S.-led invasion in Iraq, the Sunni community say they've been marginalized. So now it's reached the peak. They give examples of targeting their leaders, the finance minister, the vice president, Tariq al-Hashimi, as well as the anti-terrorism law and the de-Baathification. They want, according to them, equality, justice, as well as fair representation in every state institution.
Yeah, and Nouri al-Maliki, the Shia Prime Minister, has said they should stop their protests or, quote, face government action, saying they've been exploited by various groups. And he suggested they are foreign groups that may be exploiting it. The threat of force is implicit there. Are the people we can see on our screen now and others worried about that being used to break up the protests?
I was speaking to an old man last night, David, and I asked him exactly that question. And he told me that he wishes that the Prime Minister carry out his threat, because according to him, he says this will spark a bigger revolution. Now, the people of Anbar in general, especially Fallujah, you remember during the height of the war, the fight with the Americans, this is considered the strong Sunni heartland, and they fought the Americans, and they gave the Americans hard time pacifying the city. So they are not threatened at all. In fact, they want, because they say if it will start any government campaign against them, other Iraqis will join the fight against the government. So it's not worrying them at all.
Thanks very much, Omar. Let's broaden this out a little bit, talk to Al-Maki, who's head of the Sunni Iraqi bloc in Parliament. Mr. Maki, very good of you to join us via Skype. I'm going to quote to you some words used by an opposition leader. Injustice, marginalisation, discrimination, double standards, the politicisation of the judiciary system, and a lack of respect for partnership. All of those are echoes of words we heard during the Arab Spring, the revolutions in other countries. Are we seeing the breakup of Iraqi society here and a possible path towards revolution and an attempt to overthrow the established government?
Well, I think it's the last chance of reconciliation, the last chance of correction of all the environment in Iraq, all the political system, all the judiciary system, and the last chance for the people to be patient and to contain and to remain. I'm not talking about their concerns. And the people said that they will remain doing so. And I think in the coming days, there will be a sustainability of this tension. Maybe it will increase. And I advise the government never to behave with this as a challenging to the feelings of people. On the contrary, they should sit and talk, and the people are waiting for the government to send somebody there representing the governmental concerns and the people remain in the desert, remain inviting the government, inviting all the worldwide forces, the international society, all other people to listen to their concerns, to the violation of human rights, to release the detainees, to release the women, to give jobs, to give services, and to give the freedom to live in Iraq at least. Yes.
The events in Syria, have they gone any way towards encouraging the protesters to believe that they can do something to change the status quo, if not in a peaceful way, then in some way?
Well, I think there might be indirect effect of the events in Syria on Iraqis, but in general, I think Iraqis feel they had paid the tax since 2003 until now, and we regard ourselves as the first to have the spring. And we paid millions of sacrifices, and millions of people died, and widows, and all these. So the family had been in a very miserable way, economically, socially, from the job point of view, everything. So we already lived in spring all these 10 years, and I think there should be change now. There should be response to the concerns of Iraqis. And mind you, and I want to tell everybody listening to me now, that's not only Sunni is feeling that, the Shia also. Al-Sadr, he said yesterday or the day before, he criticized the prime minister with about 30 points. And also the Kurds are feeling in an uncomfortable way. So there's no way to maintain the political system. We invite the governmental side really to listen, to be wise, and to come and to negotiate. And the concerns are obvious. Release the women, release the detainees who were arrested without legislative or judicial orders. And also we have the higher court law.
Okay,
which is inhibiting
Mr. Maki, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, talking on behalf of the Iraqia bloc in Iraq. And as we look at those demonstrators, largely Sunni demonstrators in Fallujah, it should be reported also that a bomb explosion has killed at least 20 people. According to police, these were Shia pilgrims returning from the city of Karbala following the end of the religious celebration known as Arba'een. Many of those dead, we understand, were children, as we report on deeper sectarian and ethnic divisions within Iraq.